Okay, so it's case study time. Today we are going to explore Jonathan Stark's unique point of view, which is hourly billing is nuts. It's one of my favorite point of views or points of view. I'm not very sure what is the plural of point of view. So maybe it's points of views, doesn't matter, but it's amazing because it's like the guiding principle in Jonathan Stark's brand. It guides everything. It guides his content, it guides his offerings, it guides anything and everything that he does. He is the author of Hourly Billing It's Nuts. If you want to know more about Jonathan Stark, go to jonathanstark.com and you will see all of the things that I'm talking about right now. He has published a book on this topic. Like I said, he has a daily email where he explores this topic of hourly billing is nuts. And his business revolves around this point of view as he helps his students charge based on outcomes, value that they provide, as opposed to billing by the hour. If you have not caught up on what hourly billing means or why Jonathan says hourly billing is nuts, here is the short version. A lot of times consultants and freelancers charge by the hour, which means that if I work for 1 hour, I'll charge you $15. If I work for 10 hours, I will charge you $150. This is the pricing model that Jonathan is against. And through his teaching, he helps his students to come out of this pricing model and he tries to disconnect the results from the time spent in getting those results. Because honestly, for a business, it doesn't matter for how long a consultant works. What matters is really the outcome, the business result that you get. So how did he come up with this point of view? To really get deeper into that, I think we need to visit Jonathan's childhood when he was in school, college, high school. I'm not entirely sure. This is a photo from his early days. Can you spot him? No? Okay, I'll do it for you. That's him. I'm just kidding. We don't really need to go into his childhood. We don't even need to look at his music career because yes, at one point of time he was a part of a band and he used to play the electric guitar. So let's come a little more to the present and figure out where did it actually begin. So to find that out, I will have to go back a little bit to when did it actually start coming onto his website? When did he start leading with this one liner, which is hourly billing is nuts? When did the shift happen? Is what we will explore. So if you go back to the Wayback Machine and explore this year 2018, so unless this website is mistaken, the shift happened in Jonathan's business in 2018. This is when he actually started leading with his core point of view. Hourly billing is nuts. So did he do before this shift? Well, his positioning was he was still helping credit unions increase member engagement, and this is what his website looked like. But I think something happened in May 2018 when he moved to this new positioning, which when he started helping other consultants, other freelancers, and he says, "Are you caught in the hourly trap?" This is when he started exploring this topic. Now, when I asked Jonathan about this particular movement or this particular time in his life when he realized that hourly billing was indeed nuts and he felt the need to make that as the core point of view of his business, he describes it as a eureka moment. He describes it as a light bulb moment. And the reason you see Jonathan kicking here is because not many know this, but he's also into martial arts. In fact, he is a black belt. If you go to his website, there is a link that describes the entire story of how he realized that hourly billing is nuts. But even though this was a eureka moment, even though he realized the flaws of this particular method of pricing, there was a problem, which is that he did not know the answer. He knew the problem. He knew that hourly billing was flawed, but he didn't quite know how to solve it. And that's where Jonathan went on a journey to find the answer. That, okay, if hourly billing is the problem, what is the solution? How do we create a pricing model? How do we create a business which is not based on hourly billing, which is obviously not fair to the clients? It's not fair to yourself. It puts an upper cap on the money that you make. So, what is the answer? How do you actually solve it? And so he went on a journey, which was not an easy journey. It took him around maybe 12 months, 18 months, maybe 2 years to really concretize, to really get deep into this and to find specific answers. And along this journey, he found various other topics like positioning, like niching down, value pricing. All of these were other subtopics which revolved around the idea of hourly billing is nuts, which he explored, and that's how his thinking became a lot more concrete. Now, this is a very, very interesting thing to zoom in into because even if you don't quite know the answer, there is a journey involved. There is a certain amount of grind involved where you identify a problem and then you just give yourself a substantial amount of time to solve it, to get deeper into it, and interesting things emerge from it. Now, along this journey, he was taking feedback. He was continuously talking to people, which made him realize that there was organic demand to this particular point of view. He felt a certain kind of person being pulled by this concept because the audience was realizing that there's something flawed with hourly billing. And so when Jonathan spoke about this, they felt that the messaging was compelling and they felt a pull towards the brand. People were resonating with the idea. In fact, so much so that Jonathan was getting paid gigs. Jonathan did a lot of speaking and workshops on this particular topic. This again is worth zooming into because a point of view is not really something that you say and you forget about. It's more of, you testing it out. You just try it on for size, you just see how you are comfortable with it, and you see if the audience is resonating with it. Because I'm pretty sure the messaging, the stories, the examples, the communication would have changed for Jonathan when he was on this journey of exploring this point of view. But the main idea here is resonance. Is your point of view resonating with the audience? That is super, super important. And Jonathan was doing everything in his power, right from writing to doing client work to doing paid gigs, to test this particular idea. So if you are stuck with a point of view, you have certain idea about it, but you don't quite know how to articulate it. This is a process that we can take inspiration from because it's all about testing. It's about throwing it out and seeing how the whole thing is actually resonating. Now, one concept that I have stolen from Jonathan Stark himself is the solar system content model, which essentially says that there is a sun or your core point of view, which is at the center of your solar system. There are multiple planets, which are the pillars of your content marketing. These pillars revolve around the sun. So they are like mini point of views which support the main point of view, which is the sun. So without the sun, the whole system collapses. And then surrounding the sun, there are different planets, which are, like I said, core content pillars. So think of them as supporting ideas which your sun needs. And then there are different moons. Moons is my concept, not something that Jonathan has said, but I like to think in terms of sun, planets, and moons. The moons are essentially different expressions of one content pillar, right? So if as a content marketer, for example, for Pranav Kale, one of the pillar that I talk about is I don't know, storytelling. Then I will have different moons around storytelling which talk about different expressions of that core pillar of storytelling. So now Jonathan's sun was obviously taking shape. It had taken shape rather, and we called it hourly billing is nuts. And the planets were also evolving. So as Jonathan went down this rabbit hole, multiple planets emerged. He realized, for example, that niching down is absolutely essential. It's crucial if you ever want to go out of this trap of hourly billing. There was also this factor of building expertise, because of which he started speaking a little bit about writing books. There was also productized service, then value pricing. All of these are multiple planets around the sun of hourly billing is nuts. And then every planet essentially also had a moon, which means that niching down, for example, gave rise to multiple topics which Jonathan could explore in his daily email, he could explore on his podcast, in his book, and so on and so forth. So you can see how one controlling narrative or how a core unique point of view can actually control your entire solar system content model. And it sort of prevents you from going astray because you don't talk about the coffee that you had in the morning or how you went to pick up your son and something went wrong. No, you talk only about all the things that revolve around your son. So the son essentially becomes binding force to your communication. Now, I've spoken about the 5-step POV methodology in the other video. I'll link it as well in the description. But let's see if we had to use that 5-step methodology and apply it to Jonathan's point of view. Let's see how it works out. The first step of the methodology is the shared goal. So if you are going to develop your point of view, you need to start with the shared goal of the audience, which means you want to address what your audience wants to achieve. He essentially talks to people who want to earn more without working more hours and without hiring more people. If you look at Jonathan's website or homepage, for example, he says, I help freelancers, consultants, and other independent professionals make more and work less without hiring. Okay, so he's talking about the shared goal. Then there is the status quo, that we believe that the only way to grow and make money is by spending more hours working, increasing hourly rates, and hiring more people. In fact, if you look at his 2018 website, he does say that are you caught up in the hourly trap? Then he talks about the problems with the status quo. He goes on and explains why hourly billing is the problem, how it is not the most ethical decision for yourself or for your clients, because clients don't want your time, they want results. So, hourly billing has an upper cap on your earning, or it also punishes high productivity. The root belief here is that hourly billing is the only way to grow. If I want to grow as a consultant, the only way for me to grow is to increase my hourly rates. That is the root belief, that is the villain that Jonathan is challenging. And then he is introducing a new idea, which is that hourly billing is nuts. Stop hourly billing and start value pricing, because that is going to be good for your business as well as the client's business. All right. If you want to develop your point of view, I suggest you go through this methodology because it seems to work. So, what are the takeaways from all of this? One, a point of view is the foundation of your content, your marketing, and also your business, as we just saw. Pay attention to the ideas that feel like a huge deal to you. Listen to yourself, because one characteristic of a point of view is that you have to feel it authentically. You have to feel it, okay, it's important enough to say, because the way Jonathan describes it, it was like a eureka moment. So listen to yourself a little bit more, even if that idea feels a little counterintuitive. Be mindful of the demand. So once you have a certain rough point of view in shape, just test it out a little bit, see how it is resonating, talk to your peers about it, talk about it on social media, see the kind of response that you're getting, because mm, you do need to get better at articulating that point of view. At times, the point of view is good, but your articulation of it needs a lot of improvement. Hone your point of view by writing, speaking, and working with clients, because it's like a software. You have version 1.0, and then you have to keep on honing it. You have to launch version 1.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because that's how it keeps getting stronger. If you want to develop your point of view, I recommend watching this video on the 5-step POV methodology that I have uploaded on YouTube. I'll share the link in the description. Hope this helps. Thanks.